Is a new episode of RHOSLC on tonight, 1/1? Is a new episode of RHOSLC on tonight, Wednesday, January 1st, 2025? Fans have been desperately waiting for their Bravo shows to return from hiatus, so will tonight be the night? Keep reading for all of the details regarding Salt Lake. Is a new episode of RHOSLC on tonight? It is New Year's Day, so the big question is whether or not there will be a new episode of RHOSLC. It was on hiatus Wednesday, December 25th, 2024 for Christmas. That did not make fans happy as RHOBH and Southern Charm were also on breaks. As for Salt Lake, this season has been an amazing one with viewers continuing to be obsessed. Season 4 ended with newcomer Monica Garcia dropping a bombshell and then getting let go. Could they pick up on a high note? Of course, they could, as Meredith Marks has challenged Whitney Rose over her businesses. She claims she stole bath bombs from her. Now she is alleging trashy things about her jewelry. There are new ladies, Bronwyn Newport and Brittany Bateman, who is desperate for her man to make it official. Bronwyn is a love her or leave her kind of girl, but they are currently on a getaway. There she broke down and shared that her husband, Todd, had been unfaithful. That helped the ladies empathize with her in a way they had not before. Mary Cosby is back, and she is a dynamo as per usual. Unfortunately, her life took a turn when her son, Robert Jr., confessed his substance abuse problems. This has been a struggle, but she has maintained that she will be by his side no matter what he needs. Fans have loved this and the story they are sharing because it needs to be told. The ladies are all having problems with each other, as per usual, and the season will end in February 2025. So will there be an episode to kickstart 2025? Sadly, there will not be because of the holiday. RHOSLC will return on Wednesday, January 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's airing in its place? Harry Potter will be taking over, according to Bravo. There will be an all-day marathon in place of their regularly scheduled programming and RHOSLC. As with RHOBH, fans were not happy that the show was on hiatus. I hate that all shows take a break during the holidays. It's the best time for many of us to watch, but it's all about ratings since many are out of town during the holidays. But seriously, what is supposed to keep me sane while home for the holidays? No like Sue Tree am visiting out of state and need my Bronwyn fix. A New Year's confrontation in the snow. A Real Housewives of Salt Lake City tale. It was New Year's Day, and the ladies of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City were ready to ring in 2025 with a mix of elegance, drama, and of course, a sprinkle of chaos. The previous episode had left fans on edge, with a cliffhanger that promised the ultimate showdown between Meredith Marks and Whitney Rose. Naturally, viewers eagerly scrolled through their TV guides, desperate to know, is a new episode airing tonight? Meanwhile, in the snow-covered mountains of Utah, the housewives were oblivious to the audience's anticipation. For them, it wasn't about whether a new episode aired. It was about surviving another day in their unpredictable web of alliances and rivalries. The morning after the gala, Mary Cosby woke up in her opulent mansion, surrounded by a pile of designer bags and an eerie silence. Last night's New Year's Eve gala, hosted by Lisa Barlow, had been a whirlwind of accusations and champagne spills. Mary hadn't taken part in the drama. She never did, not directly. Instead, she observed from the sidelines, her piercing gaze making everyone uncomfortable. Today, though, Mary felt restless. She decided to call Meredith, her closest ally in this snow globe of a city. "Darling," Mary began, sipping a cup of coffee that had been brewed from beans flown in from a secret Peruvian farm. "Do you think Lisa planned that seating arrangement to provoke me?" She knows I don't like being near Heather. Meredith, on the other end of the line, was busy applying a face mask made of cold flakes and seaweed extract. Lisa plans everything, she replied cryptically. But I have bigger concerns. Whitney is stirring the pot again. She's trying to expose my past. Mary raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Which past exactly? You have so many. Whitney's snowy secret. Across town, Whitney Rose was bundled up in a chic fox fur coat, standing in her driveway. She wasn't alone. With her was Angie Katzenvas, the newest housewife who had quickly earned a reputation as a firecracker. I swear, Angie, Whitney said, her breath forming little clouds in the icy air. If Meredith thinks she can manipulate us, she's wrong. I've got receipts, literal receipts. I found emails linking her to that scandal with the foundation charity. Angie gasped, her perfectly arched brows shooting up. Do you know what this means? We have to bring this to the group at the snowmobile retreat tomorrow. No one escapes accountability, not even Meredith. Whitney nodded, her resolve hardening. But first, let's grab lunch. I'm starving. Lisa Barlow's Alpine Empire. At Lisa Barlow's palatial home, things were considerably more chaotic. Her phone was buzzing incessantly with texts from the other housewives, each one hinting at the storm brewing within their circle. Lisa ignored them for the moment, focusing instead on a meeting with her husband, John. Babe, I've got this new tequila launch coming up, Lisa said, scrolling through her iPad. But I need it to be huge. Like Sundance meets Super Bowl huge. We're talking fireworks in the snow. Maybe a live reindeer. John looked skeptical. Reindeer might be a bit much. Lisa waved him off. You don't get it. This is my year. 2025 is all about Lisa Barlow. The confrontation. By evening, the housewives had gathered at an exclusive ski lodge for a private dinner. The ambience was breathtaking. Candlelit tables set against panoramic windows overlooking a snow-dusted valley. But beneath the surface, tensions were bubbling. Whitney didn't waste time. As soon as the appetizers arrived, she stood up, clutching a manila folder. Meredith, she began, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. I have something to say. Meredith, ever composed, set down her champagne flute. Go on. Whitney pulled out a stack of papers and waved them dramatically. These are emails that prove you were involved in the foundation's mismanagement. Care to explain? The room fell silent. Mary Cosby's eyes darted between Whitney and Meredith, while Lisa Barlow whispered something to Heather Gay. Angie looked like she was about to burst from excitement. Meredith didn't flinch. Whitney, darling, she said, her tone dripping with condescension. You've always been so eager to play detective. But let me ask you this. How far are you willing to go before you realize you're digging your own grave? Mary's revelation. Just as Whitney was about to retort, Mary stood up. Enough, she said, her voice commanding attention. This is ridiculous. Every single one of you is missing the point. It's New Year's Day, and instead of reflecting on how we can be better people, we're doing this. The women stared at her, stunned into silence. Mary wasn't known for taking the moral high ground, but tonight she was on a roll. We are grown women, she continued, with businesses, families, and reputations. Yet here we are, fighting over emails. Honestly, it's pathetic. For a moment, it seemed like her words had struck a chord. The women exchanged sheepish glances, realizing that maybe, just maybe, Mary was right. The closing scene. As the night wore on, the tension eased. The women laughed, clinked glasses, and even managed to enjoy dessert without any further confrontations. But as they parted ways, it was clear that the peace was temporary. In the world of RHOSLC, no truce ever lasted long. Back home, Meredith poured herself another glass of champagne and stared out at the twinkling lights of Salt Lake City. She knew Whitney's accusations weren't going away. But if there was one thing Meredith had learned, it was this. In a game of Housewives, the truth was always subjective. Back to reality. As for fans wondering if a new episode airs tonight, the answer lies in their TV schedules. But whether it's a rerun or a fresh episode, the drama never stops in Salt Lake City, on or off screen. And that's what keeps us all coming back for more.